Hey everyone, gather around here, come to the 3D Systems booth. We're going to talk about the future of 3D printing, which is 3D printing food. I'm going to bring to the stage Kyle and Liz Van Houselen. They are the creators of the ChefJet and the Sugar Lab. Coming up here, they're going to teach you all about the future of 3D printing. Do you want to tell them about 3D printing food?
Thanks, Keith. So we're Liz and Kyle Van Houselen, and we are the co-founders of the Sugar Lab. And the Sugar Lab is a company that originally develops some of the 3D printing food technologies that you see over there. And we just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the history of the company, how it started, and where we see 3D printing food back then, a couple years ago, where it is today, and also where it'll be a couple years from now. So the Sugar Lab started really humbly in our tiny graduate student apartment about 3 or 4 years ago. Can you hear? And at the time, we were graduate students in architecture. So in architecture school, it's really common to have a 3D printer nowadays to create really complex digital designs for buildings. And Liz and I were always hacking. We loved to experiment with machines and also software. And so what we like to do was try and print in new and unusual materials. So being architects, we were really interested in trying to print in wood, for example, to print wood furniture. So we would print in sawdust, and that worked okay. And we also thought about 3D printing in ceramics and cement, and that worked okay. And then we thought we'd maybe try the 3D printed sugar for a couple reasons. One, because it would be pretty cheap, and another because it would photograph really beautifully. And we tried that out and it worked okay. And then we got under some pressure because we had a friend's birthday that was coming up. Actually, my brother's girlfriend, Chelsea, it was her birthday. And so we got really excited about planning a party for her. And we went shopping and got all the ingredients to bake the cake from scratch. We got back and unpacked everything in our house and realized we didn't actually own an oven. We just didn't have one in our tiny apartment. We had just moved in, so it was kind of an oversight on our part.
Yeah, we ended up having Thanksgiving dinner at a Chinese restaurant that year also because we just, for some reason, couldn't remember we didn't have an oven.
Exactly.
In this case, it worked out. So we basically started experimenting. We thought, would it be possible to print Chelsea a birthday cake instead of making one? So we started basically pouring sugar into the 3D printer we had and experimenting with all the types of sugar we could get at our local grocery store and mixing it in all kinds of different recipes. Pretty soon our whole house was sticky and we were covered in sugar, and it took us many months, but eventually we were able to print Chelsea a tiny little cupcake topper that spelled her name in cursive sugar. And Chelsea loved it so much that we started to wonder if other people would like it too. So as soon as we finished graduate school in architecture, we decided to try to start basically a 3D printing bakery. And we did that in Los Angeles with one 3D printer that was 3D Systems technology that we retrofitted to be food safe. And that was the first sugar printer.
Yeah, exactly. And so we worked our butts off that summer, and we published a lot of our early work as photographs online, and we got a huge response. We couldn't believe it. The images went all around the world and came back. It traveled all over the internet, and we talked to our friend Scott Summit, who works at 3D Systems, and he shared some of the images with Avi. And Avi called us up and said, is there any way 3D Systems can help? And we were really excited to hear from them because we had been using their technology, and we had been thinking long term about how could we really make these 3D printers commercial so that they're available to bakeries and restaurants and hotels. That was one of our long-term goals. We knew that at 3D Systems we'd be able to speed that up and really make it possible. So we joined 3D Systems just in September. And since September to today, we've been able to develop with them 2 3D food printers, which are the first of their kinds. They'll be food safe and certified and professionally ready for kitchens and bakeries. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, they're on the other side of the booth. They're called the ChefJet and the ChefJet Pro.
You may have seen us over there handing out candy.
Yeah, we have lots.
If you haven't tasted it yet, come visit us.
Yeah, we have lots of candy for samples and also milk chocolate.
Yeah, so we're thrilled to be a part of 3D Systems. The Sugar Lab is now the food brand for 3D Systems, and we couldn't be happier. Our vision lines up really perfectly with 3D Systems' vision for 3D printing. We're both really interested in making this awesome technology that we believe in really strongly available to as many people as possible. And we feel really strongly that food is a great way to do that, because food is super universal, right? It's so much about family and lifestyle and celebration, and it's something that everyone can get behind. Everyone likes food. So it really is a way for many, many more people to engage in this technology that maybe wouldn't have an opportunity to otherwise. So that's something we're really excited about.
Yeah, exactly. And we just feel really lucky to be able to have this job as what we call the world's first 3D printing bakery. And at home, what we really do day to day is develop new recipes that taste really good, candy recipes. So this week we unveiled mint flavor and also cherry flavor, sour apple, and then milk chocolate, which is really delicious. I hope you guys get to try that. And I think one of the best parts for us is really seeing the reaction that we get from the local chefs that we work with in Los Angeles. So we've been working for a little while with Chef Goldman, Basic Cakes. He has a bakery not too far from our house, and we go over there about once a month and try and outline some new ideas for some radical cakes. And it's really inspiring to see what those food artists like Chef Duff and other pastry chefs have for ideas. They are constantly innovating. They see that technology and they're not intimidated by it. They don't think it's going to replace their job or something like that. They know that they can use that machine better than anyone else in the world because they really understand food intimately and they know how to develop really cool projects that'll be beautiful. So the first day we met with Chef Duff, he said, let's scan bride and grooms, print them out in colored sugar, and put them on the top of cakes, which was a great idea. We hadn't thought of it. He said, let's make a 3-tiered wedding cake, and the sugar will be structural, it'll support parts of the cake, which is a really cool idea. We printed these crazy geometric structures, and he pipes meringue inside, which cooks at a really low temperature. We baked those overnight in the oven, and it fluffed up into these incredible fluffy geometric shapes. And he also said, let's put them in drinks. So we printed 3D printed lattice works of sugar that fit right inside of cocktail glasses, and then a barista can come along and mix up a cocktail in real time and have the 3D printed sugar sweetener. And those were just the ideas that came up in the first week, and we've heard tons of other great ideas from them. We also do some talks at culinary institutes where chefs are in training, and all of those students immediately realize that's a tool that they can use to develop really cool products on their own, and they've told us about all kinds of awesome ideas. Actually, someone has a question, so what I can say.
Can you say one time? Oh, sorry. I think I'm really excited by the food opportunity, and I understand the intent. What I'm curious from your point of view as a creator is what do you see as the big opportunity versus, if I wanted to make a wedding cake tomorrow, the chef and the normal chef, equipment that could probably do it quicker. What are the layers of where you're trying to get to? Because it's interesting.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we really see this as an added tool in a pastry chef's toolbox. So they can make geometries that are more elaborate, more complex, more structural, more sculptural, than they would be able to with traditional methods. So it's not replacing anything they do, but it's adding to what it's enabling them. So anything they can imagine now, they can 3D print and add to their designs. Yeah, sure. So this question was, what do you think in 5 years' time? Which is a great question. And given the pace pace that we've seen working with 3D Systems for only about 4 or 5 months, that's a tough question. I think pretty much with food, the sky's the limit. We're right now experimenting with a lot of recipes that are confection-based, so sugars and candies and chocolates, and we're starting with those because we think dessert is a really great place to start with food because it's a space that really values embellishment and experimentation and customization. So it makes it a really good fit for 3D printing technology. But we see a lot of potential for all kinds of food substrates in the future, and we're really excited to start experimenting with those. Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of a different kind of customization. One type is to match the lace of a bride's gown. Another type is to really precisely control dosages, whether that's for nutrition or medicinal or what have you. So I think all of that in the future is completely up for grabs. Absolutely.
Are there any more questions? Okay, I'd like to thank Liz and Kyle for presenting the ChefJet today. If you want to go online, Gadget has posted this online as one of the best at CES. You can actually vote for this on the Gadget website. You can vote for the ChefJet. I'm really proud of their work. If you go on the far side of the booth there, they have the machines printing food right now. You can check out some of the most beautiful cakes. They're works of art, but you can eat them. So, thank you.